Now the geology around here, it's mostly a lot of clay slates, clay shells. I got some conglomerate around here. I got a lot of greenstone. I got some schist. Of course, I got some mariposite out here. A lot of the gold that in the area that we're at is found in quartz veins. Now the source of these hydrothermal fluids is from the Sierra Nevadas. That is a gigantic batholith. So you have this huge granitic mass that makes up the Sierra Nevadas. And at one time that was underground. And it's because of all that heat that's coming off of it, it created the perfect environment to create magmatic fluids. Magmatic fluids is all the steam that's coming off of a cooling magma chamber. And as it rushes up through the fractures and fissures and faults that are pre-existent, it begins to cool. And as it does, it drops its temperature and pressure. And sometimes the pH balance will change when it comes in contact with other rocks. And as it does so, if there's any mineral assemblages that are inside of that steam, that hot steam, it'll actually start to drop out of solution as everything cools off. And that's where a lot of these quartz veins are coming from, is those hydrothermal fluids that are coming off of the top of these magma chambers as they're cooling. Now in places like Nevada, you can have a lot of this hydrothermal fluid systems coming up through the ground and mixing with pre-existing groundwater. And they refer to that as meteoric waters. And what is happening is it's actually changing the pH balance of the water as well. And you can have low sulfidation epithermal systems come out of that. But getting back to where we're at, which is in California, a lot of these are referred to as mesothermal deposits. They're deep-seated deposits. And a lot of the gold around here, like I said, is in these mesothermal veins. And the areas that are brecciated, like this, ooh, the gold is just literally hanging out of there. Like I said, I'll give you snapshots of it later. Yeah, I can hear from here. Jeff, stop all that jaw-jacking and tongue-wagging and get on to finding us some gold. I just thought you might want to learn about some geology for a change so it'll help you find gold. But geez, you guys are a tough crowd. Now that sounds pretty loud. I don't think that's any gold, but I still got to dig it up. Now the reason why I'm really interested in this is I've got a vein that runs right through this road all the way up the hill. And it outcrops right here. See that? I'm almost 100% sure that's going to be a piece of metal from the roadway. I won't be able to sleep at night knowing that, hey Jeff, you didn't dig that target. That could have been the world's biggest nugget. They got poison oak and poison ivy around here. Oh, you're a two-fister metal detector.
Yeah. So the good thing is with the Axiom, it's a pulse induction machine, and it can get greater depth than a typical VLF like this one.
Right.
But a weak point of the PI machines is their ID capability compared to VLF.
Right.
Come over here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's not a typical gold.
No, that's low-high, not high-low.
Exactly.
That's not too bad, yeah. Nice
Okay.
weak signal.
Weak signal. So I punch this off.
Right.
I put this one on.
Nice.
And then this one tells me that, okay, that's jumping all over iron.
Right.
This right here,
Oh, that's nice and clean.
nice, clean, narrow,
Yep.
narrow. And I'm getting 80s.
Nice.
Right there. So I get down here, start to dig.
Wow, that's huge.
That's it, lay there.
Nice.
The Sun Baker.
Nice. They just threw it out there too for you.
Yeah, this is a throw-out pile. This
Nice.
This nugget has been sitting here
Waiting for you.
for 150 years probably.
And if there's one, there's more.
Whoop.
It's mine now. That is sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Good job. This is referred to as hand stacking. This is when the old timers would come through and they would find gold down here in these old creeks, tributaries, and washes. And they would take all the overburden, which is these cobbles and rocks, and they would stack them up like a wall and then put all their waste material behind that. So when you see this, you know you're in a gold producing district. Now, of course, if the Chinese were here and working it, chances are you won't find a lick of gold because they were very thorough. But it's always a good sign when you see this because you know that the area you're standing in produced gold. And there's a chance there could still be gold there. The ground behind these walls, that might be virgin ground because a lot of times the old timers, They never worked the upper bench. They just built a wall and threw the waste rock on the other side. So that might be something to look into. Also, I would get up there and I'd scan that waste rock to see if there's any specimen gold, like a gentleman down the creek just found. Because a lot of times they'll just throw it out. They're looking for the smaller stuff and they miss the specimen gold. So if you're running detectors, that's another good spot to check. And that's where I'm going to check. And that's where you're going to check. But we got to make it through all this poison oak and poison ivy. Ugh, I hate that stuff. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
What's that, sweetie?
Piece of bulldozer.
Oh, oh my God.
I'm David, Oklahoma Backward Explorer. I just found this nugget down here, and it's a mighty fine one.
Nice. Big old flat flake. Look at that. He's chunky. He's got character
Yep,
too.
chunky.
Nice. You're just going along and all of a sudden.
Yep, just a light target, and I pulled back some rocks, and it got louder, and I dug about another 3 inches down there.
Nice. Good job, my brother.
Awesome.
Get some
Appreciate
more.
it.
Yeah.
Looks awful, but I didn't want a real loose braid.
Yeah, that
was
would
good.
look cool.
Yeah.
Like Gandalf or something like that.
Yeah.
I found Dan Hurd up here in the middle of nowhere. I thought it was Sasquatch at first, but it was Dan. Dan, what are you doing up here, you
Well,
silly man?
They let me into the U.S. again. A surprise.
They won't let him out. That's why. So, Dan, I want you to tell these people a little bit about what you do because there's some people that don't know you.
I'm another YouTuber.
Yeah.
And I run Dan Hurd Prospecting on YouTube. Finding gold, finding gemstones and rocks.
But where are you from?
Canada.
That's right, up by the Fraser River.
Up in British Columbia.
Nice.
Actually, in the last few days up here in California, I've managed to find a whole lot of gold, and we're having a great time up here.
Nice.
Lots of nuggets, lots of specimens, and this place is amazing for gold.
Wow, and I think you found a whole bunch of specimens you showed me earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gold on quartz.
Nice. I'm going to put a snapshot of those pieces so you can get a good look at it. Yeah. This guy is really good. I'm going to have to take pointers from him.
I can learn a few things from you as well.
Nah, I don't
Actually,
know
I have learned a few things from you. Jeff is the reason I got into YouTube, actually. I was watching Jeff long before I started my own channel. And in fact, I even messaged him early on in my career, asking him some questions, getting some pointers from him. And actually, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much because because of you, I got into this YouTube thing.
Nice. I didn't know I had that influence over people. I hope you liked this video. If you did, you better smash that like button. Smash it hard!
Yeah.
If you want to see how much gold we pull out of this mountain, watch the next video because, it's going to blow them pants off. And we'll see you on the next video. So you know what I'm going to say, right?
Of course.
So come on! Let's go!